Friday marks the second annual National Day Against Gun Violence here in Canada, and it comes at a time when a series of random shootings have left a community in Toronto on edge. And joining us live to discuss the issue of gun violence, as well as looking ahead to a special community concert, is Richard Miller, the founder of Keep6. Richard, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And Richard, tell us a little bit about Keep6 and what the community group is doing.
So Keep6 is a grassroots nonprofit organization that caters to individuals that have gone through the justice system, but also individuals from the marginalized community.
All right, and you've been doing some great work over the last few years now. And, you know, a lot of the work and what needs to be done is addressing root causes, and that is a big goal of yours when it comes to Keep6.
That is correct. We've got a lot of issues within the community when it comes to the gun violence. Well, over the years, we've developed a program called Gangs for Tuition, which was supported by the Peel Police, and we launched it along with them. And that program allows individuals to get into the trades and all the resources and mental health and so forth.
All right, trying to get to the root causes of some of the gun violence that we've been seeing, especially over the past weekend. So here in Toronto, in the northwest part of the city over the weekend, we saw a mass shooting on Sunday night of just innocent men who were, you know, after playing a soccer game, were hanging out and were ambushed. 5 people were shot, 1 person dead, as well as police confirming random shootings happening just hours before that of a 14-year-old and a 20-year-old. And there is this idea that the shooting of these soccer players was random as well. When you hear about this increasing random nature of these shootings, I mean, what goes through your head, and how does a community then go on when they're in fear of this?
What goes through my head is I'm very much aware that when it comes to a community, there's a lot of trauma. We have to look at poverty plays a big role. If we're going to address the root cause of gun violence, we have to look at these issues such as the poverty, sustainable income, and dealing with the trauma. We have to start somewhere. And we have the grassroots organization that's doing these work, and we need our government official to start supporting the grassroots organization to continue to make the changes that's needed in our community.
Yeah, and the trauma even goes beyond just those who are victims, but those who have to live in a community now as you're in fear. Am I going to be shot while I'm waiting for the bus, minding my own business? Am I going to be shot while I'm walking down the street? Especially when it's random and not so much targeted, there is that fear as well that builds up in a community.
Yes, and again, I mean, if you stop and look at the overall picture, this is something that trickles down from the victim itself to the community members, and even the average person who might have fear of going out to the movie theater or something like that. So we have to come together as a community and start looking at the resources and make resources available for these young people to get away from this gun violence and not make this a choice or these decisions, right? And again, I feel strongly that once we are able to have the resources and address the employment and have it sustainable for them and be able to support these grassroots organizations like Keep6 and other organizations that's doing the work, we can see changes.
And coming up this Friday, you will be holding a special event, Harmony Over Violence. Tell us about that.
So Harmony Over Violence is a concert that's taking place in Mississauga Square 1, Celebration Square. This concert is to mark National Stop the Gun Violence Day. We'll be having local artists, but we also have some of our delegates attending. We have the Deputy Chief of Peel. We also have the Minister of Mental Health. We have the Justice Appellate, and some very nice individuals coming out to support this event. We want to make changes and make awareness to our community, but also have a space where they can explain and have a voice and, you know, talk about their needs. So we have these individuals who are attended so they can hear what's available for them, but also to give them that support. And we'll be also having individuals there with mental health booths and so forth.
Okay, mental health plays a big role in this.
A very big one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thank you for the work that you do, Richard, of course, and that event's going to be happening on Friday between 3 and 7.
Yes, that's correct. Friday at 300 City Center Drive, Mississauga. between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m.
All right. Richard Miller from Keep6, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. It is 9.